Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. And this video is going to be a response to this article that came out on my news break from Science Alert titled, "Man Keeps a Rock for Years Hoping It's Gold. It Turned Out to Be Far More Valuable." In 2015, David Hole was prospecting in Maryborough Regional Park near Melbourne, Australia. Armed with a metal detector, he discovered something out of the ordinary, a very heavy reddish rock resting in some yellow clay. He took it home and tried everything to open it, sure that there was a gold nugget inside the rock. After all, Maryborough is in the goldfields region, where the Australian gold rush peaked in the 19th century. To break open his find, Hole tried a rock saw, an angle grinder, a drill, even dousing the thing in acid. However, not even a sledgehammer could make a crack. That's because what he was trying so hard to open was no gold nugget. As he found out years later, it was a rare meteorite. It had this sculpted, dimpled look to it, Melbourne Museum geologist Dermot Henry told the Sydney Morning Herald. That's formed when they come through the atmosphere. They are melting on the outside, and the atmosphere sculpts them. Salakia. Unable to open the rock, but still intrigued, Hole took the nugget to the Melbourne Museum for identification. "I've looked at a lot of rocks that people think are meteorites," Henry told Channel 10 News. In fact, after 37 years of working at the museum and examining thousands of rocks, Henry explains only two of the offerings have ever turned out to be real meteorites. This was one of the two. "If you saw a rock on Earth like this and you picked it up, it shouldn't be that heavy," another Melbourne Museum geologist, Bill Birch, told the Sydney Morning Herald in 2019. The researchers published a scientific paper describing the 4.6 billion year old meteorite, which they've called Maryborough after the town near where it was found. It's a huge 17 kilograms, and after using a diamond saw to cut off a small slice, they discovered its composition has a high percentage of iron, making it a H5 ordinary chondrite. Once open, you can also see the tiny crystallized droplets of metallic minerals throughout it, called chondrules. Meteorites provide the cheapest form of space exploration. They transport us back in time, providing clues to the age, formation, and chemistry of our solar system, said Henry. Some provide a glimpse at the deep interior of our planet. In some meteorites, there is stardust even older than our solar system, which shows us how stars form and evolve to create elements of the periodic table. Other rare meteorites contain organic molecules, such as amino acids, the building blocks of life. Although the researchers don't yet know where the meteorite came from and how long it may have been on Earth, they do have some guesses. Our solar system was once a spinning pile of dust and chondrite rocks. Eventually, gravity pulled a lot of this material together into planets, but the leftovers mostly ended up in a huge asteroid belt. This particular meteorite most probably comes out of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and it's been nudged out of there by some asteroids smashing into each other. Then one day it smashes into Earth. Carbon dating suggests the meteorite has been on Earth between 100 and 1,000 years, and there's been a number of meteor sightings between 1889 and 1951 that could correspond to its arrival on our planet. The researchers argue that the Maryborough meteorite is much rarer than gold, making it far more valuable to science. It's one of only 17 meteorites ever recorded in the Australian state of Victoria, and it's the second largest chondritic mass after a huge 55 kilogram specimen identified in 2003. This is only the 17th meteorite found in Victoria, whereas there's been thousands of gold nuggets found. Looking at the chain of events, it's quite, you might say, astronomical it being discovered at all. It's not even the first meteorite to take a few years to make it to a museum. In a particularly amazing story Science Alert covered in 2018, one space rock took 80 years, 2 owners, and a stint as a doorstop before finally being revealed for what it truly was. Now is probably as good a time as any to check your backyard for particularly heavy and hard to break rocks. You might be sitting on a metaphorical gold mine. So that's the article, and I thought that was spiritual because you could compare the meteorite that man found to this truth, the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So now I'm going to jump to the scriptures. First I want to bring out this. Happy is Proverbs 3:13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Right, so that guy that found the meteorite, he was initially searching for gold, but he ended up finding a meteorite which was even more rare than gold. And that's how this wisdom is, because it can possibly bring you to salvation, which also, roughly paraphrasing the scriptures, that your gold and silver will not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. I'm also going to get this. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? Again, this truth is more precious than gold because only a small amount of people can obtain it. And some, no matter how hard they try, they just can't get it. The people that search for gold, if they just go to the right places and look for enough time, most likely they're going to find some. But it's not like that with this truth. And also, I thought it was interesting how he tried with all these different tools to cut it open, but he still couldn't get it to open. And this is Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. Verse 25. And the rains descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Verse 26. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rains descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So basically, what that says is, those that follow the teachings of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, they're not going to fall, no matter what kind of adversity they're faced with. Whereas all these other worldly doctrines, other pagan philosophies, philosophies of men, they're going to fall. They're likened unto those houses that were built upon the sand, because they don't have any foundation. They're not that rock that is Yahweh Shai, which brings me to this. Deuteronomy 32:30. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai had shut them up? Verse 31, for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. Right, so the foundations of all these other doctrines, they're not like the doctrine of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. They're nothing compared to it. They're not firm, you know? So, I think I also wanted to, Salakia, I meant to also bring out this. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Proverbs 3:13. Proverbs 3:15. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Right, so this wisdom is 1 in a million, even 1 in a billion, because if you think of all the souls that have been on this planet, on this earth, only a select few, the 144,000, the elect, have been able to get this wisdom. Just like that man, what were the chances that he was going to come across that asteroid? You know, I forgot how many times, but they just said that they've only had like 17 of those asteroids found in that region of Australia. And Australia is a big fucking place, you know. So, you know, that was just, I thought that was heavy spiritual. So, you know, that's pretty much all I had on that. Just wanted to bring out that video. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I'm going to end off by giving all praises, honor, and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, DTA Abad Baba.